Hello. So today I want to talk about two different things that have been on my mind. One is about something in parenting that I've been thinking about, and another one is as far as personal development goes. So in parenting, I've been thinking a lot about just kind of the phases and the seasons that we go in and out of. So we have one child who really struggles with behavior and just doing what is expected and those sorts of things. And it is really challenging. It can just really cause a lot of problems. And it's something that I worry about a lot, just trying to figure out how to help this child and how to help them make good decisions, how to have peace in our home, and those sorts of things, because this person just doesn't necessarily want to do all of the things. I feel like I pray about it and I think about it a lot. And one of my thoughts, I thought that I should reach out to my sister-in-law who has a similar situation. She had a child who also had some issues with this. And so, I was just asking her, if you could go back, what would you have done differently? Or what does this person struggle with now? And one of the things that she said to me that has just really changed my perspective is just that her child, as an adult now, no longer struggles with any of those things that were really big, major pain points when they were younger. And that has really resonated with me and helped me look at behavior differently. Because I think when you're in with the toddler ages and that sort of thing, that things are stages, and the stages are pretty short, right? Where you encounter some kind of terrible behavior, or they do whatever, have a hard time going to the bathroom or something, and it does eventually end, and it's a pretty quick turnaround. I don't know, a couple of years at most. But sometimes as your kids get older and the stages last longer, it's hard for you to imagine that they will ever end. And all you can see is that it's going to end poorly and they're not going to do well as an adult. But it's been pretty amazing to let this new idea kind of guide the way that I am thinking. And so just a really powerful visualization that I try to use is just to imagine, if you knew that everything with this child was going to work out and they were going to be fine, and they were going to turn out just fine, and whatever problems they had would be resolved, how would you treat them? And that is a completely different response than this child's not doing what they're supposed to, and this child is causing issues, and this child is making everyone mad, and everyone is having a harder time because of this child. And anyway, that one question has really helped me think more long term and think about the the relationship with that child. And rather than just thinking, okay, how can I get this person to do what I want and what would make my life easier? And instead just remembering that this is a person who is developing, and everyone's development looks different. And it's just been really helpful to look at it differently. And I'm really grateful to have older siblings where you can kind of bounce ideas off of people and see things that have worked for them, and see kind of what some of these problem things how they work out in their lives. So that's been really helpful to me. And I'm just grateful for the spirit in helping us kind of navigate parental challenges that we have. I think sometimes as parents, you just feel at a loss and you don't really know what to do. And I mean, I think that's all part of it, is that you have to learn and grow in parenting. And the other thing that I have been thinking about that's kind of similar, it has to do with personal development. And I've done a couple of online courses around like changing our eating habits and those sorts of things. And one of the ideas that has stuck with me and I think about quite a bit is just the idea to keep trying and to keep going. So, as with any change in eating habits, you're always going to mess up or not quite get it right or make some poor choices. And, in a lot of ways, when that happens, we tell ourselves, oh, well, this is not going to work. I'm not able to change. This is not worth it. This is, I'm obviously just stuck in this pattern that I have. And in those courses, one of the things they say is, what is the alternative? The alternative is to stop trying, and that is not, that's not a long-term solution. And so your only other option is to keep trying. And if you keep trying, then you don't need to beat yourself up every time you don't do what you want to. You just realize that change takes a really long time to happen, and growth is not instant. And you can just keep trying. And I think in our world that we live in, we all want like instant change, and we want things to happen quickly, and we want a before and after and all of that stuff. But when you give yourself grace and you say, I didn't do what I wanted to do this week or this month or this year, and instead say, I learned something new this year. I changed this idea that I had. I got closer to this idea that I wanted to try out, rather than kind of beating yourself up and always saying that you're falling short, and instead trying to find more ways to grow rather than just saying that it is what it is and I'm not going to change anything about it. Just kind of pushing forward and but gently. Like, I think there's a lot of power in gentle progress, and I think it's the Savior's way of change is not trying to change yourself by shaming yourself, because that doesn't actually motivate you, but being changed by the Savior little by little, and recognizing that He can make more out of you than you can, and that any habits or things that you have in your life can change, because that is how the Savior works, is he takes people and changes them into other things. So to not give up on goals or habits that you have, and think about different ways that you can still keep striving and keep trying, even when you maybe aren't doing exactly what you set out to do. So those are my 2 thoughts for today, kind of related. Same with parenting, right? You don't stop trying with a kid just because what you're doing isn't working, or nothing's getting better. You just keep trying to figure things out, keep trying to learn and grow, and not give up. So that's my thoughts for today.